The final trump card with which the Jews want to distinguish themselves, especially from Christians, but also from all other nations, are two verses from the New Testament. Both originate from Jesus Christ. He is their source. With these two verses, the Jews want to demonstrate their superiority over all other peoples of the earth, and especially over Christians. They are the verses, John 4:22, "For salvation is of the Jews," and the verse, Matthew 15:24, "I was sent only to the lost sheep of the house of Israel." What lies behind these two statements by Jesus Christ, in which he speaks almost derogatorily about all non-Jews? And this from Jesus Christ? After all, he died for each and every one of us. In the last video, we remembered that God made a covenant with Abraham about 4,000 years ago. It was decided that the Israelites should become a leading example for the whole world with God's support. Later, he would even send countless prophets to help them, and ultimately, Jesus Christ. In this way, God led a group of people out of dark paganism into becoming a nation that had respect for him. This task, however, was extremely difficult. In order to begin to grasp what God took over along with Abraham, we must first consider the world in which the Chaldeans lived at that time. It was a world in which sons slept with their mothers, daughters-in-law with their fathers-in-law, brothers with their sisters, a world in which parents burned and subsequently sacrificed their children.
So God, along with Abraham, de facto took over a group of unscrupulous and unbridled, lawless human beings and tried to teach them morals.
God first had to strictly discipline these people, for they were truly wild and unruly savages. It was like taking a bunch of punks off the streets and trying to dress them up and teach them manners.
This is very hard.
So God took this group of people who came from this depravity and paganism and tried to make them a nation unique in this world. To do that, however, he first had to teach them manners. He first had to teach them how to behave. Here's an example. What do you think about a law regulating sexual relations between an aunt and her nephew, niece, or other relatives? Leviticus 18:14. "You shall not lie with your uncle's wife, for she is your aunt." And as if this law was not stressful enough for the people of that time, he gave them another law, this time concerning sexual intercourse between father-in-law and his daughter-in-law. Leviticus 18:15. "Do not have sexual relations with your daughter-in-law. She is your son's wife, so you must not have sexual relations with her."
So they had to explain to each and every person personally what it meant, because she is your daughter, or she is your son's wife.
Or, here is a law about protection against child sacrifice, since child sacrifice was absolutely common among neighboring peoples. Leviticus 18:21. "And ye shall not let any of your children be offered through the fire to Molech." There is also a law prohibiting temple prostitution, since sexual services in Canaan were offered by women and men as part of religious rituals. Deuteronomy 23:17. "No Israelite, whether man or woman, may become a temple prostitute." And finally, a law concerning sodomy. Leviticus 18:23. "Do not have sexual relations with an animal, nor shall any woman present herself to an animal to have sexual relations with it. That is a perversion." Such re-education takes time. That's why God had to be so strict so often. In any case, that, and only that, was the true reason why Jesus came into the world and attempted to complete this difficult mission. And that was also the only reason why he said he had come only to the lost people of Israel, or that salvation would come only from the Jews.
Sadly, what unfortunately became of it, I have also explained in my previous video.
Jesus didn't choose the Jews because they were so unique or because they were so perfect. He chose them because he had a task to accomplish with them. To this day, these two verses serve as a warning to all of us, and not as a hymn to the Jews, who, in any case, no longer exist in this form today anyway. So, in the future, don't let yourself be fooled by Christian or Jewish Zionists when they try to brainwash you with such or similar verses. There is no doubt about it. These verses certainly conceal their truth. However, this truth differs from what the controllers of lies would like you to believe.